The Osceola here with at Gulliver High School with father-son combination, Lamont Green Sr. and Lamont Green Jr. What's your nickname you said they call you out there?
Boots.
All right, Boots. We got Boots here. We'll just go with Boots. It's just easier. But, father-son combination here. Lamont Green Sr. was a USA Today Player of the Year. Back then, they used to have be in the newspaper. I think you, David Warren, Travis Minor, some of the guys that was a big honor back then, to be in that paper and be recognized as one of the top players in the country. I think you were the #1 player in the country, Defensive Player of the Year. Came out of Southridge High School, part of the 305, where the best talent comes from. Lamont Sr., tell us a little bit about, yourself and, when you look back in the whole recruiting process, what you went through and how much it's changed from when you came out of high school to now.
Well, that was a long time ago. But I think the most thing that's changed is the social media part of it. It took a lot of people really had to do a little digging to find out who were the top players. You had to actively go out and find the USA Today paper, or you had to look up things to see who were the top players back then. But now, it's going to just flash on your social media page. Everybody's got all these followers. The kids are just they just have a lot of media and a lot of people behind them. So it's in a totally different different realm. Guys are getting paid now, with NIL deals and young kids, and it's a different time in recruiting and college football and high school football and everything.
When you talk about the NIL, what do you think your value would have been like now?
Oh my God! I was kind of like, they used to call us blue chips and parade All-American, and I think back now, you don't think about it a lot when you're young, but I think back now, I was consensus #1 player in the country, and it's like now, that would have been, these guys are doing crazy things when you have their status now, but, times change, man, times change.
When you came out, you ended up choosing Florida State. What were some of the other schools you were looking at that time, and why did you pick Florida State?
At that time, I was actually, looking at Miami. All the 3 Florida schools, basically Miami, Florida State. And it came down to, I think Coach Giacomo, we built such a strong relationship over the years because it started when I was really young, when he started recruiting me. Miami and Florida, those schools came on a little later. But it boiled down to that, I think, in the end, the relationship that I built with Coach Amato.
You played more of a traditional linebacker position. Your son's more of like a outside rush end, comes off the edge. What are some of the things that you've taught him? So, you played different positions, but what have you taught him so he could get to where he is at now?
Well, I think an advantage that he has, not only me being a linebacker, was me being a coach. And ever since my brief career in the NFL, I've been coaching football, and I've been a defense coordinator ever since I started. I've never been in the game where I didn't call plays. A little bit due to my background, and it just helps. It helps him in the fact that I was a student of the game. I felt like I needed to know what everybody on the field was doing. So, I really learned what the edge guys, their reads and what they needed to do, and hand placement and where their feet needed to be, and those type of things. I practiced with them a lot, even though I wasn't an edge guy. I just used to go over and work with those guys. So I'm able now to translate a lot to his training and the way that I train him, because football's changed a lot. There's no more traditional eye backs, and the game we played is not the same, so linebackers like me probably would have got faded out of this game, so this is all about the edge guys and the speed guys now, and the regular linebackers are more coverage guys now, so I think it helps him a lot more with me being a coach, they're able to work with him on his edge stuff.
Boots, your dad played linebacker. Where are these most of the colleges? Where do they are recruiting you? What position do they want you to play in college? Do they want you with your hand on the ground? Do they want you off the ball, kind of like a Von Miller type rush end? Where are they recruiting you? What type of position?
Mainly, they just want me to play like edge, like not none of the dropping back stuff. They just want me to have my hand in the dirt and just rush for the quarterback. So like a normal end. Not as much stuff.
Yeah, first time I saw you was, I believe you were in the 8th or ninth grade at the Florida State camp. I mean, you flashed back then. You could tell even back then you were going to be a top flight player. Just from that time to where you're at now, how much do you feel like you've improved, and what do you think you've improved on most? And also, what do you think moving forward you need to work on the most?
I'd say everything improved from speed, physicality, move arsenal, anticipating what the offensive tackle was going to do. I think I improved in all of that. I think what I improved the most in is just the move arsenal, because anybody can just bull rush, do a simple move or do a spin move, but when you have a multitude of moves, that just gets inside their head, so they don't know what you're going to do, which is very good. I think in the future, what I need to work on most is probably like being able to use more physical moves, and just adding more moves in general.
You're a legacy recruit. Your father played at Florida State. You have a kid like Julian Armella, whose father played at Florida State. Do you feel like that was pressure growing up? Having to live up to his standard that he had put down, or do you just do your own thing?
I mean, it was slight pressure, but I never let it get to me, really. If somebody said anything about it, it'd go in one ear and out the other, so it didn't pressure me that much growing up, but yeah.
Talking about your team, last year you guys came real close to winning a state championship. That disappointment, you're a very competitive prospect player. What do you think? You feel like, you have a shot like this year to redeem yourself, you guys as a team. Like, what do you have to do to help you guys get over that hump? And as a team, what do you guys need to do?
Me personally, I just have to dominate off the line. Anything that comes to my side or anything that I can do, I have to do it to the best of my ability. I have to coach up all the other D linemen. So it's my responsibility to make sure I'm doing as much as I can and making sure they can do as much as they can. If I can get the D line to do good, we'll be all right for the season. So.
You look at Florida State; they have had a history of defensive ends that have had great careers, from Peter Boulware, Raynard Wilson, I think Connell Spain. You had even Jermaine Johnson last year, Brian Burns. Who do you pattern your game after of all those guys?
I mean, most recently I've been watching Jermaine Johnson, so I've been trying to copy his moves and stuff. Yeah.
So you're going to be that next great Florida State defensive end?
Yeah.
All right, that's great, man. So, just some other things, like as far as Florida State, you're committed to them. What made you commit to them? What do you like about it? What about the coaching staff? Who recruited you there, and why did you choose Florida State?
I mean, Florida State, obviously he went there, but aside from him going there, they made me feel welcome. They made me feel like I was already a part of the family I didn't know I was a part of. Every time I go there, coaches talk to me, coaches try to build a connection. Campus is great. I've met the players were nice. They'll teach you a thing or two if they could. Just watching their practice, you seem to learn a lot, and then like you said earlier, Florida State has a history of making great DNs, so I feel like that is also a reason why I would be a great fit there.
How close do you think they are of turning the corner and getting back to what Florida State fans are used to?
I mean, with Coach Norvell in there, it seems very probable in the next year or two. So.
Right. One final question. I want to ask you, who's a better football player, you or your dad?
Me.
All right, man. Well, I had to ask that, So,
Simply.
but all right, no problem. But
let me answer before you get in there.
Yeah, that's good.
Hey.
Listen, let me tell you. No. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. He possessed a lot more physical tools that I did possess. He's 6'5". I'm 6'2.5", 6'3". His arm span, he got 80-something inch wingspan. He runs 4 or 5. I didn't possess those physical tools. I was more of a brute. I was more physical. I don't know if I'm more physical to him, but I'm saying my game was more physical.
right.
He has a variety of things that I didn't possess. So, if you want to look at it like that, Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Not maybe. It's definitely yeah.
production-wise, he gets a lot of sacks. I didn't get a chance to rush the quarterback, so you know, it's different.
Straight up, senior. He Boots feels he's a better player,
know, he tells
and
me
you know
that.
we'll let him live with that right now. All right, let the son live with that. But I appreciate you guys coming on today. What would you want to say to Seminole fans before we log off here? What do you want to say to them?
2023 class is gonna bring Florida State back. I believe in the 2023 class.
Well, I really appreciate you guys coming on today. This is Osceola with Lamont Green Jr. and Senior. Boots, Seminole fans, remember that. Your next great Seminole defensive end.